Here.
Are we ready?
We are ready.
We're ready.
Okay. Come now together, join hands and share with us the joy of death, rebirth. Be as a tree which spreads her roots deep in the earth and her branches to the heavens, standing witness to eternal transformation. For death is not a wall against which all consciousness must cease, but a door to new life, to wonder, and to enchantment.
Be still now and look within with closed eyes. Feel the sand beneath your feet. Feel the roots of your being reconnect with the earth, with the mother, and as you do, your mind relaxes. With each breath you take, breathe deeply, gently, and imagine you're a leaf full of life, and as it fades and transforms, to fall and float gently downward into a flowing sea. See it float effortlessly, rushing down the stream of life. See it reach the sea, the vastness of infinity. It sinks gently beneath the waves and lapping in the delta, gradually releasing its form to become one with the infinite.
Whence it came, thence it returns, to feed and to nourish new forms, new life, new consciousness. Thus the cycle continues, eternal, nothing truly lost, all things truly one and now. Open your eyes, open your heart, feel the warmth of the love and the light of those around.
Let us now begin the ancient rite. Call ye now the powers of the Lady and the Lord. Invoke the force within ourselves and know that which can be desired can be manifested. Call ye now and be reborn. And I will cast the circle. So in your mind's eye, you cast it and have white light going around the circle and have it enclose you and your surroundings and your family, your home, wherever. And then make it not only a circle, but make it a sphere so that you are totally enclosed in this sphere of protection. By sunlight, starlight, moonlight, and firelight, reflections of eternal light. By the spark of the living light that dwells within the heart of each of us. I do cast and conjure thee, O circle of power and light. Be thou a link and a boundary twixt the kingdoms of humans and the realms of the mighty ones. A guide and guardian to preserve, protect, contain, and direct the sacred energies we raise this night. Wherefore do I bless and consecrate thee, and as I will, so mote it be.
So mote it be.
Excuse me while I go get my water and salt. By all the powers of water and earth, I bring about this circle's birth. I cast this circle round about and cleanse this circle in and out. I cast and conjure, cleanse and bless this circle now of holiness. Twixt gods and humans, a boundary. And as I will, so mote it be.
So mote it be.
By all the powers of fire and air, my magic will I bring to bear. I cast this circle round about and cleanse this circle in and out. I cast and conjure, cleanse and bless this circle now of holiness. Twixt gods and humans a boundary, and as I will, so mote it be.
So mote it be.
We are now joined in the circle of love, joy, and friendship as a boundary between our everyday world and the realm of mystery, as a shield against the worries of everyday life and the machinations of darkness, as a sphere of protection to focus and contain the energy we send forth. We do bless and consecrate this circle in the name of the goddess and the god. All right. Who would like to call east? Anybody? Good.
At the dawn of the new year, the wind comes from the east, blowing across the land of dreaming, dancing among the shades of the past. Bless us in memory, spirit of air. Welcome.
If you have a candle, now is the time to light it. Who would like to read south?
I'll go ahead
Anyone?
and read south.
Okey-doke.
Well, you can do it.
At the heart of the year, the fire rises to the sky of the south, glowing against the dark of nighttime, lighting the way along the road. Warm us in memory, spirit of fire. Welcome.
Welcome.
Welcome. West. Who would like to read west?
Oh, say anything? I'll read it. I'll read it.
Okay.
At the close of the year, the water carries the old away from the west, streaming across the heart of darkness, washing the tears of grief away. Bathe us in memory, spirit of water, welcome.
Welcome.
And I will read north. At the moment of silence, the earth remembers all that has been in the north, keeping the words since the beginning, feeling the cycle, moving again. Sustain us in memory, spirit of earth. Welcome.
Welcome.
Huh?
You, little brother and sister. Batman and Wonder Woman.
All right, Alex, you and I get to go back and forth, and I will start. The circle is cast in a place that is not a place,
In a time that is not a time,
with a willing suspension of disbelief.
we consider the possible
We explore the probable.
and question the truth.
And let's welcome the Lord and Lady. And Alex, would you begin?
Listen to the words of the great mother, who is of old was called Isis, Freya, Danu, Sybil, Demeter, Kuan Yin, Lakshmi, and many other names.
Whenever you have need of anything, once a month, and better it be when the moon is full, and we have a full moon tonight, folks.
Yes.
You shall gather in some secret place and adore the spirit of me, who am queen of all the wise. Sing, feast, dance, make music and love, all in my presence, for mine is the ecstasy of the spirit, and mine is also the joy on earth. For my law is love unto all beings. Mine is the secret that opens the door of youth, and mine is the cup of wine of life that is the cauldron of Caradwin, that is the holy grail of immortality. I give the knowledge of the Spirit eternal, and beyond death I give peace and freedom and reunion with those who have gone before. Nor do I demand sacrifice, for behold, I am the mother of all things, and my love is poured upon the earth.
Hear the words of the starry lady, the dust of whose feet are scattered stars, whose body encircles the universe.
I, who am the beauty of the green earth and the white moon among the stars and the mysteries of the waters, I call upon your soul to arise and come unto me. For I am the soul of nature that gives life to the universe. From me all things proceed, and unto me they shall return. Let my worship be in the heart that rejoices. For behold, all acts of love and pleasure are my rituals. Let there be beauty and strength, power and compassion, honor and humility, mirth and reverence within you. And you who seek to know me, know that your seeking and yearning shall avail you not unless you know the mystery. For if that which you seek you find not within yourself, you will never find it without. For behold, I have been with you from the beginning, and I am that which is attained at the end of desire. I'm going to light a candle for the goddess. Lady of transformation, wise woman, crone, you who hold the secrets of immortality, teach us tonight your mystery, that life is not circle, but spiral, that completing a cycle begins us not back to our start, but forward to dance the spiral's next measure. Comfort us tonight with your promise that in your arms the tomb becomes the tomb of rebirth. Celebrate tonight with us as we remember the past and look forward to the future. Caradwin, Atropos, Hecate, the Vela, Nebahet, grandmother, ancient goddess of wisdom, welcome.
Welcome.
And I will invite the god. In this dark domain of death, the sun recedes into the night. The fall of the sun god is inevitable. Holding strong in all of this gloom is the Lord of darkness and death. Within this time of dismal loss, there remains a spark of the ruler of night and an awakening within us all. It is a masculine beast that is emerging. Only the brave can stand in the midst of this fear. This beast is beyond death, and he keeps each of us enlivened. A new spring is being created in the ashes of death. May this seed drop and germinate. Let it walk in the night to find the day. In the name of the horn god of rebirth and fertility, bless this circle, and may he impregnate your soul.
I will welcome the Lord now. Lord of shadows, moment of suspension between light and dark. The gates have been opened, and time holds her steady march in check, and those who have gone before join our circle again. Voices we have not heard in too long, stirring our memories. Teach us tonight, and the joy of reunion touches us, that every ending is just a beginning, that we shall all be together, that the tapestry we weave is not to be sent asunder. Lord of the passages, Lord of sacrifice, Lord of death and resurrection. Aaron, Osiris, Medi, Balder, Christos, Dionysus. Welcome.
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 Okay, this next reading is it's something that we all read together. The 1, 2, 3, 4 lines, we all read together, and then we come back to it. So follow along, and where it says all, we come back to the first 4 lines. So let's start with the first 4 lines, and I know it's odd that we're all going to be reading at our own pace, but that's okay. We'll do it anyway. So let us begin. Like the
Like the
seasons,
seasons,
we
we
are
are changing,
changing, ever
ever
turning
turning on the wheel,
on the wheel. Born
born to
to
grow,
grow,
to die,
and to
and
live
to live
again,
again,
like
like the
the
harvest
harvest
of the
of the
field.
field. Samhain's here, the year is ending, remembering those who've gone before. Yet a new year is beginning. Death is life in other form. And we do this again. Like
Like the seasons,
we are
we are
changing,
changing,
ever
turning on the wheel,
on the wheel.
born to
Born
grow,
to
to die,
die,
and to
and
live
live
again,
again,
like
like
the
the
harvest of the
of
field.
Now the darkness is descending. The night is cold and winds will blow. Yet our loved ones reach to us, led home by the cauldron's glow.
Like the
like
seasons,
Seasons
we are changing, ever turning on the wheel,
on the wheel.
Born
to
Born
grow,
to
to die,
die,
and to live again, like
by
the
the
harvest of the
field.
field.
On this night of Samhain, we mark your passing, O Sun King, through the sunset into the land of the young. We mark also the passing of all who have gone before and all who will go after.
I am the changer of form. I am the darkness, great gateway. I am the breaking face of God. I am the deep waters dividing the sands. I am the crucible of life, hour of death, gateway to rebirth. I am the shadow grave, the womb, from whence all comes to the light. I will transform you, your reign of sorrow, into rainbows of promise.
All reading together. Death
Death and birth
are
are the children of light.
In
In
time
time we are
we are
born,
born,
in time we die.
Life
Life is immortal,
immortal, as it
as it
was
was in the beginning, is
is
now,
now, and
and
ever
ever
shall
shall be.
be. Blessed.
Blessed be.
Go into the darkness, go into the light, go without fury, go without fright. Go with the coming, go with the going. Here is the reaping, here is the sowing.
Okay, Regan.
Sound, Halloween, All Souls, Summer's End.
Night
Night of the dead, night of the dead. The night death walks the streets and the dead awake. Day of dying, day of dying. When the veils are thinnest between the worlds. Lady of magic, lady of magic. When the gates open between the worlds. Triune, lady of magic. Tonight we stand together. Many men and women from many different paths. Before us, our ancestors stood, but they stood apart. And they know the secret that we are bound, we're brought together by a common bond. Some say that bond is spirit. Some say that bond is deity. But the reality is our own mortality. Our lives, as the lives of our ancestors, must be lived for something. Some will be remembered, and some will not. But all of our ancestors and all of their heirs make a mark in this world, for better or for worse. And it is our brothers and sisters in death, that this night is dedicated. May they entertain us with their blessings as we honor their existence. To all those who brought us here physically and spiritually, do we bow. I light this candle for the spirits of the ancestors. Blessed be the souls of those who have journeyed beyond the dark world of the dead. I pour this nectar in their memory. May Hecate bless them with light, beauty, and joy. We welcome them to our sound circle this autumn evening. In remembrance, we speak their names.
So speak as you have people on your mind and soul.
Sure.
Jerry. Alice. Lyndon. Others?
Dorothy. I think I get
John.
one.
Anybody else?
Oh,
Any names you want to put forward?
Rob.
Howard Tankersley.
Bertha. Elmer. Maddie.
Sinatra and Ashley. Romulus and Remus.
Roxy.
Tasha. Breezy. Ebony. Let's go.
And the final response, if we would all read it together. What
is remembered lives.
Hang on while I drum up the story of Skeleton Woman here. This story is taken from the book She Who Runs with the Wolves. And I read it many years ago when I first started walking this path, and it's it's been one of my favorite stories ever since. So sit back, enjoy, let your images come into your head as I read the story of Skeleton Woman. She had done something of which her father disapproved, although no one any longer remembered what it was. But her father had dragged her to the cliffs and thrown her over and into the sea, There the fish ate her flesh away and plucked out her eyes. As she lay under the sea, her skeleton turned over and over in the currents. One day a fisherman came fishing. Well, in truth, many came to this bay once. But this fisherman had drifted far from his home place and did not know that the local fishermen stayed away, saying this inlet was haunted. The fisherman's hook drifted down through the water and caught, of all places, in the bones of Skeleton Woman's rib cage. The fisherman thought, oh, now I've really got a big one. Now I really have one. In his mind, he was thinking of how many people this great fish would feed, how long it would last, how long he might be free from the chore of hunting. And as he struggled with this great weight on the end of the hook, the sea was stirred to a thrashing froth, and his kayak bucked and shook, for she who was beneath struggled to disentangle herself. And the more she struggled, the more she tangled in the line. No matter what she did, she was inexorably dragged upward, turned up by the bones of her own, tugged up by the bones of her own ribs. The hunter had turned to scoop up his net, so he did not see her bald head rise above the waves. He did not see the little coral creatures glinting in the orbs of her skull. He did not see the crustaceans on her old ivory teeth. When he turned back with his net, her entire body, such as it was, had come to the surface and was hanging from the tip of his kayak by her long front teeth. "Arg!" cried the man, and his heart fell into his knees. His eyes hid in terror on the back of his head, and his ears blazed bright red. "Arg!" he screamed, and knocked her off the prow with his oar and began paddling like a demon toward the shoreline. And not realizing she was tangled in his line, he was frightened all the more, for she appeared to stand upon her toes while chasing him all the way to shore. No matter which way he zigged his kayak, she stayed right behind, and her breath rolled over the water in clouds of steam, and her arms flailed out as though to snatch him down into the depths. "Arg!" he wailed as he ran aground. In one leap, he was out of his kayak, clutching his fishing stick and running, and the coral white corpse of Skeleton Woman, still snagged in the fishing line, bumpity bumped right behind him. Over the rocks he ran, and she followed. Over the frozen tundra he ran, and she kept right up. Over the meat laid out to dry he ran, cracking it to pieces as his mucklucks bore down. Throughout it all, she kept right up. In fact, grabbed some of the frozen fish as she was dragged behind. This she began to eat, for she had not gorged in a long, long time. Finally, the man reached his snow house and dove right into the tunnel, and on hands and knees scrabbled his way into the interior. Panting and sobbing, he lay there in the dark, his heart a drum, a mighty drum. Safe at last. Oh, safe. Yes, safe. Thank the gods. Raven. Yes, thank Raven. And all bountiful Sedna, safe at last. Imagine when he lit his whale oil lamp. There it, lay in a tumble upon his snow floor. One heel over her shoulder, one knee inside her rib cage, one foot over her elbow. He could not say later what it was. Perhaps the firelight softened her features, or the fact that he was a lonely man. But a feeling of some kindness came into his breathing, and slowly he reached out his grimy hands, and using words softly, like a mother to child, he began to untangle her from the fishing line. "Oh, na, na, na." First he untangled the toes, then the ankles. Oh, na, na, na. On he worked into the night, until dressing her in furs to keep her warm, Skeleton Woman's bones were all in the order a human's should be. He felt into his leather cuffs for his flint, and used some of his hair to light a little more fire. He gazed at her from time to time as he oiled the precious wood of his fishing stick and rewound the gut line. And she in the furs uttered not a word. She did not dare, lest this hunter take her out and throw her down to the rocks and break her bones to pieces utterly. The man became drowsy, slid under his sleeping skins, and soon was dreaming. And sometimes, as humans sleep, you know, a tear escapes from the dreamer's eye. We never know what sort of dream causes this, but we know it is either a dream of sadness or longing. And this is what happened to the man. The skeleton woman saw the tear glisten in the firelight, and she suddenly became so thirsty. She tinkled and clanked and crawled over to the sleeping man and put her mouth to his ear, his tear. The single tear was like a river, and she drank and drank and drank until her many years-long thirst was slaked. While lying beside him, she reached inside the sleeping man and took out his heart, the mighty drum. She sat up and banged on both sides of it. Bom, 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 bom. And as she drummed, she began to sing out, flesh, 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 flesh. And the more she sang, the more her body filled out with flesh. She sang for hair and good eyes and nice fat hands. She sang the divide between her legs and breasts long enough to wrap for warmth and all the things a woman needs. And when she was all done, she also sang the sleeping man's clothes off and crept into his bed with him, skin against skin. She returned the great drum, his heart, to his body, and that is how they awakened, wrapped one around the other, tangled from their night, in another way now, a good and lasting way. The people who cannot remember how she came to her first ill fortune say she and the fisherman went away and were consistently well fed by the creatures she had known in her life under the water. The people say that it is true, and that is all they know. And that's the story of Skeleton Woman. I've done some reflecting about the stories, and I just want to share a little bit of some of those reflections. These are some questions that I found myself asking. What must I give more death to today in order to generate more life? What do I know should die, but I am hesitant to allow to do so? What must die in me in order for me to love more? What not beauty do I fear? What should die today? What should live today? What am I afraid to give birth to? If not now, when? Love always causes a descent into the death nature. And boy, that's a tough one, but it's true. The fisherman's challenge is to face Lady Death, embrace her, her life, death, life cycles. Be prepared to sacrifice something. You're not running from relationship, but you're running from love. To love truly takes a hero who can manage his own fear. If it is love we are making, we are willing to untangle the bones of the death nature, to see how it all goes together, to touch the not beautiful in others and ourselves. Untangling means to be able to see what we're truly doing, not what we think we're doing. I really like that one. So, that's Skeleton Woman. And I don't know why, but I really like that story a lot. Okay, let's move on.
Tasting the seeds of death. When the maiden Persephone dwelt in the dark world, she ate the seeds of this fruit, and so was bound to always return. Behold the fruit of life, which is death. Taste the fruit of death.
And if all of you have pomegranates, have a taste.
Whoa.
I have to say this is one of my favorite fruits. So, if we were physically present with one another tonight, this would be the opportunity to visit one of the four directions and to ask a question, or either you could let your vision go soft looking into a black mirror or a water in a dark bowl, or you could pull a tarot card, or you could just write on a piece of paper what you would like to let go of tonight. And then at some point, either burn it or tear it up and throw it away into a stream somewhere, or it's probably just as easy to do that. So let's just take a few minutes and do that. And I'll give us about, I don't know, 3 or 4 minutes. And if there's anything any of you would like to share as you do this, feel free. One of the things that I've been doing is working in the garden. And I was in the garden today for about 2 hours. And the work in the garden this time of year is really severe because the cold and the snow have already done, taken the life out of anything that was standing tall, like sunflowers or wildflowers or anything like that. And so there were many, many, many dead stalks that needed to be cut down. And the roses, there were little buds on ends of the roses, and of course those are all gone, and the leaves on the roses are starting to fade now. And so I was literally cutting things down to the ground, and I found myself thinking, a lot of this stuff should stay on the ground because there's so many seeds in what I'm cutting down, because there was echinacea and seed pods and just millions of seeds in what I was taking down. So I ended up cutting some of the seed heads off of what I was taking down and just letting them lay on the ground. And that's a really good metaphor for out of the death of the cold and the snow, the season that we're moving into. All of those things all of those seeds that are left laying on the ground, and the roots that are underneath the ground are just waiting for the warmth of spring to come back. And so out of the death of fall comes the new life of spring. And for me, that was a real, not a revelation, but just a reminder, I guess. And that was heartening and hard work, difficult work, because it's going to be at least 5 months before I see any color in the garden again, unless I put artificial flowers out there, which I might. But so it was really helpful to me to be reminded again of that perspective of death being the source of new life. And even in those that we love, although I don't understand how it happens, I'm pretty confident that it does happen. I have this image that, they say, people who have had near-death experiences say that there's a light at the end of the tunnel. And so for me, that light is the pathway to, is the end of the birth canal. So the spirit literally goes into another human being as that human being is born. I have no idea if that's true, but it's a nice thing to imagine. So, all right, let's taste the fruit of new life.
Behold the apple, which has been said in some traditions to be the fruit of man's fall. I say to you, do not be deceived by appearances. Behold, this so-called fruit of death contains the fivefold star of rebirth.
Oh, that's a good apple.
Uh-huh.
That's really good. Thank you.
Taste the fruit of rebirth.
So if you have an apple there with you, take a bite.
All things must die, yet all are reborn again. Everything passes and changes. Seeds become fruit. Fruit becomes seed. In birth we die. On death we feed. Know the endless cycle and be free of all fear. Join in the affirmation of life. Behold the bounty of the mother. We have here some sparkling cider, and I have some messy cookies that I made today that did not stay together as, you're just going to spill if you do that.
I'm being careful.
Okay. Did not stay together as cookies. It more came out as cookie clumps and crumbles, but it still tastes good.
Gluten-free cooking.
Feed on life, that new life within you may be born.
So everybody take a bite of something that you have and drink some wine or juice.
On page 12.
To new life.
To new life.
In us do the dead live. Water flows downhill through us. The sun cools in our bones. We are joined with all the living in one shining web of energy. In us live the dead who made us. In us live the children unborn.
We grow like a tree from the earth.
All powers called and gathered here. Fill us with your grace and wisdom ere you depart to your lovely realms. Help us understand the truths of our eternal lives. And let's close the circle.
Lord and Lady, we thank you for your presence.
For the circle, for night and change.
We ask your blessings as you depart.
Knowing you are with us always. Hail,
Hail
Hail
and
and
farewell.
farewell, and blessed
Blessed
be.
be.
Guardians, oh, sorry, somebody else read north.
I did. Guardians of the watchtowers of the north, towers of earth, powers of body, thank you for your presence in our circle. We bid you hail and farewell, and blessed be.
Blessed be.
Was I west? Guardians of the watchtowers of the west, powers of water, powers of emotion, thank you for your presence in our circle. We bid you hail and farewell.
Blessed be.
Blessed be.
Blessed be.
Guardians of the watchtowers of the south, powers of fire, powers of will, we thank you for your presence in our circle. We bid you hail and farewell. Blessed be.
Blessed be.
Blessed be.
Guardians of the watchtowers of the east, powers of air, powers of the mind, we thank you for your presence in our circle. We bid you hail and farewell. Blessed be.
Blessed be. This closing is a little different, but I liked it, so let's read it together. By the
By the
earth
earth that is her body,
by the
by the
water
water that
that
is her blood,
by the air
air that
that
is her breath,
By
by the fire
fire of
of her living womb.
The
The circle is open
open,
but unbroken.
May
The
the
peace of the goddess
and the
and the
love
love of the
of the
God
God go in our
go in our
hearts.
hearts.
Merry
Merry
meet
meet and
merry
merry
part,
part and merry meet again.
Blessed
Blessed be
and
divine
do. Yay, we did it. All right.